very washed with the background, if that makes sense. I wonder if there's a, can I do like object selection? Is this gonna work? Is it gonna crash? Oh my god, look at that. That's amazing. Oh man, the most recent Photoshop's kind of crazy. Let me just try and select this one too. What? That does a pretty good job. There's a little bit of an error up here. Can I just deselect? Oh my god. All right, hang on here. Okay, so I've separated out these guys. Jesus. That's hilarious. That's kind of painful. I feel like the better they get with Photoshop, the more I've lost parts of my life. There's a few more spots here that are kind of breaking. Let me just try and grab those. Wow, that's ridiculous. I don't even know how to feel about that. Okay, so the reason I wanted to separate those is if you bring these out on their own, these materials, that is kind of freaky. Gee, that's funny, man. So when you look at these on their own against a black background, which I highly advise, never have just a pure black background. I just want to illustrate the levels in here. So you can see like right now your materials are quite washed. And they have a pretty good highlight in them. We're not spiking too much of the pixels into the white range. You know, bring this back. Yeah, see, this is okay. So relatively speaking, when we leveled these out, we didn't lose too much information. You see in here it starts to go away. But those materials look really nice now, in my opinion, by comparison of these. So you can see now they're already separated from the background. It is a little strange how they're lit. Right now you've got a warm light here and a non-colored light. It almost feels like a white light on this side. I would suggest maybe making this one a cooler color of this light source, and maybe putting a more focusing on like you want to have your, let's see here, your warm light up here, and then your cooler light, which, yeah, see, it's still kind of warm. Your cooler light down here, it's still a little down in this area, and that'll give you a really nice pop. Feels like it needs to be greener. Interesting. Yeah, it does feel, it's quite warm, right? Like the moss is, I think it's okay though. I think it's okay. It's the background. Like right now you've got this top edge and this bottom edge, and you see this bottom edge here is not touching the cylinder, whereas this one passes it just a little bit. This would be what we would call a tangent. So what I would actually suggest doing is going in and really just committing to the tangent, or committing to the crop, so that there's no tangent. So let's take the background, let's bring it up in value so it's not black, and then let's take this background range and just kind of push it down. Now you've got something that looks a little bit more engaging, I think, but it's not I don't know. I bet you could take this material. Oops, I just made it CMYK. There we go. Let's scale this up, do something like this, and then we'll just blur, Gaussian blur, something like that, but then lower it all the way down and then bring it back up just so there's information in there. You see that? Maybe we can select this. Let's make this black. We'll remove this image, and then we'll just bring this up so that you get a separation. So there's a line, but you're still getting all the value shifts and all that stuff going in there. So you've got these, right? let's say we've moved the lights. I would duplicate these spheres. You could do a blur, Gaussian blur. Let's see here. And then do a screen. Let me blur it even further. Gaussian blur. Yeah, and then we do a mask, invert the mask, and then just paint where these highlights are, just really messily, just commit to it, right? And then go back to this layer and just turn it to 0 and then turn it up just enough, and there you go. I think that is more compelling to me and really shows your materials versus like what you had before, which was this one, right?